Hey guys, this year I'm going to be talking some news that we got regarding the Flash's final season, aka season 9. We learned who will be also appearing in this season. If you guys enjoy the video, hit the like button down below, subscribe for new, notifications on, jump right into discussion and news for the Flash's final season. On December 13th, which was at the point I'm recording this Tuesday, I wasn't able to record, so I'm doing this video now. And then I was going to do it Wednesday night, but then we got that trailer promo thing. And then I had to break that down again last night in the video. So now I'm here doing this video talking about the news that we got this week. I kind of alluded to it in the last two videos that I did, but there's more to it than just her appearing in the season. We actually know her role in this season. And it's kind of an important thing to look at. I don't know if it's an important role, but it's definitely an important thing to look at. Now, here's Eric Wall's statement regarding Nicole Maines, who plays Nia Nal, coming back as Dreamer in the Flash's final season, and her story does involve Iris. So, who knows where that goes. As Supergirl fans ourselves, all of us here on The Flash are super excited to have Nicole join Team Flash for a one-off adventure as they put together a final season. Nicole is a fantastically talented actress, and I'm so happy she's agreed to be part of a very special Season 9 episode where I get to cross off one of my Arrowverse bucket lists, team-ups having two fantastic reporters, Iris West Allen and Nia Nal, investigate their own very bizarre and frightening mystery. Now, at this point in time, I don't believe we know what episode she will be in, but Nicole Maines, I believe, said that she'll be in Vancouver in February. Right now, they're filming 309. So, assuming they're done with 309 this month, we could be looking at her appearing in 310, 311. Which is interesting, because that's almost the end to the series finale. And her story includes Iris and no mention of Barry at all. Which I was surprised by, because they seem to be going down the route of Barry needs to have Iris by his side 24/7 again. Which, unless they do it right, fine, but we don't really need that after what we got in season 8. But my point is that this story arc that they're going with Iris and Nia Nal, it does seem interesting. It's just, will it all connect to the main plot? Because then it's pointless. I mean, we've had that with Iris several seasons before. Where she's part of a story arc and it just leads to nowhere. It's just her own side plot. And it's like, we don't need that right now. We need the main plot to be continued. And with the final season of 13 episodes and the first 5 looking just insane. I mean, it's so, packed with emotion and action just from that little promo that we got. We also know Red Death is in 903, 904, and 905. We still have Cobalt Blue and Bloodwork appearing in this season that we need to get out of the way. On top of that, they're also setting up a Rose Gallery coming in. And Captain Boomer is going to be recurring. So, I don't... There's so many different things they can do for Iris this season. I don't really care what they do with her character, as long as it doesn't affect Barry in a massive way, like to the point where they're nerfing him. Like they did for 7 seasons straight, which is ridiculous. But we shouldn't be getting a Barry that needs help 24/7. We shouldn't be. It's okay for Barry and Iris to be close, and Iris to be in the Cortex talking to Barry about how to, do this and do that. But when Barry's in the field, it should just be him, not relying on Team Flash, and he shouldn't need help unless there's more than one thing going on. So, unless the situation lines up like an A14 after Frost died, he brought Allegra's Seal into the field, one that we really needed them there. Barry brought them out there, not only caused a distraction for them, which didn't end up working, but it also paid off because a building was collapsing and they needed to stop the guy, but they didn't. And then they ended up stopping him off screen, which is fine because it was an easy villain. It would have been a reused scene or something. I mean, Jesus. It doesn't make me oh, this is amazing. But it's okay, great. I was going to be doing something else this season and being connected to Barry 24/7. I think we need that. We don't need to be Barry and Iris every single episode. The show is called The Flash, and season 8 proved that more than any other season in the show. And whether you want to admit this or not, because some of you I know you won't, season 8, the best 4 episodes, or the foremost, best episodes of the season by the community, was when Iris wasn't in those 4 episodes. Those are the 4 best ones for a ton of people. Because Iris has become a character that we're so sick of at this point, where she thinks she knows how to be a speedster and knows what Barry's been through in his life. As a Flash alone. Maybe she knows what he's been through as a kid growing up, but as a Flash, she doesn't know what he's been through as a Flash. She doesn't even know a fraction of it. So there's no way in hell that she can say we are the Flash when it makes zero sense. And, I mean, the hate's been starting since there. Now, I don't hate Iris. It's just, they need to dial her back. And they can't keep doing the same bullcrap of Iris getting on Barry for doing what he believes is right. Like she did in season 5, and season 4, and season 6, and season 7. I don't think it was really happening in season 8, but the matter of the fact is that season 8, people were so pissed off at Eric Wallace when it was Candace's fault. Because she wasn't in most of the episodes. Season 7, people got pissed off at Eric Wallace because she wasn't in 3 episodes or whatever. That wasn't Eric's fault. It was Candace's because she didn't show up. Now I get why in season 7. In season 8, she didn't really care. You can tell that in her acting. I respect Candace. I really do. But her acting dipped in season 8. While Grant skyrocketed, Candace's dipped. In the little scenes that I actually paid attention to her in, you could tell she didn't really give a crap. Now, maybe it's because it's been 8 years, or 8 whole seasons, and she just want to move on. If she wanted to move on, why come back? Leave the show. We don't need Iris. Arrow season 8 worked without Oliver's love interest there. They had Felicity. They had, her off-screen raising their daughter, Mia. If Candace didn't want to be there anymore, have Iris get pregnant and take her away from Central City while Barry beats the Flash. If you really want to do that, instead of making Candace come on and do stuff she doesn't want to do, clearly. Well, this is just the theme of the episode. That's dark. I mean, then fine. But the Candace that we knew like season 1, season 2, and kind of season 3, that all just went away in season 4, and it's been getting worse ever since. At least for me, and I know for a lot of people. I mean, it's just rough to get excited about an Iris storyline when it will inevitably make the episodes dragged out, and we don't need that. I'm excited to see Nia Nal. I am. I really, truly am. But do we really need more story arcs? We already have 20 in the first 6 episodes. I don't think we need more. Unless they can handle it, then great. But now I'm worrying that now we're not going to be dealing with stuff being dragged out. We're going to be dealing with stuff that's done way too quickly. Which for The Flash is a new one. I mean, well, kind of. For Armageddon, it could have, I think an extra episode could have been a little bit better. But, I mean, the last epic novel was pretty much perfect. Nothing was really dragged out. Everything made sense if you really pay attention to season 8. The Death Star arc was dragged out by an episode or 2. But it wasn't a big deal. I mean, in season 7... both graphic novels from that season were dragged out. Season 6 was dragged out. Season 5, 4, 3, 2, even 1. All of these story arcs, whether they were the main story or not, were dragged out. And it affected every single season. Well, now we're in a 13-episode season, and who the hell knows if everything's going to be done too quickly. Because they seem to be jumping from one story arc to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. Which I get they need to do, because the last Arrowverse show, they have a lot they want to do. But at some point, it becomes too much. And if 9-10, assuming that's the episode Nia Nal will be in, or 9-11 even, maybe it's an interlude, because it literally says, from Eric Wallace's statement, I'm so happy she's agreed to be part of a very special season 9 episode. I mean, a very special episode, is that regarding we're getting more people than just Nia Nal in the episode? Is regarding the main plot, the final story arc of season 9? Like, what the hell? Like, we should be. I know Eric Wallace won't ever say this because it'll kind of ruin the season format, but we get a promo and I'm overly hyped up, and now it's like we're getting another whole story arc. We shouldn't be getting that. We shouldn't be getting 20 different story arcs that you can't keep up with and the season's done. Now, I'm going on a rant, obviously, and the season's not even out yet. I am excited for season 9, but I really do not think this season will be better than season 8 for me, just purely because we have, like, again, 20 different story arcs, and most of them aren't relating to Barry from what I've seen. So, unless this Iris story arc connects to Barry somehow, then great, do it. If it makes sense. Don't waste time dragging out an episode in a story arc just to get Nia Nal and just to make Iris do some reporting. I mean, it's called The Flash, and again, it's his name. They proved that for the first time in 8 years. They showed that Barry is the Flash, and it's not just all Barry and Team Flash. It's legitimately Barry. And we need to keep that going season 9. But we can't really do that. There's like, everything's being shortened by everything. It's amazing that we're getting all these story arcs. And, you know, maybe the annual episodes won't be that bad this season because they weren't really in season 8. At least most of them weren't. But one episode off, I mean, if it's in 9-10, then what the hell are they doing for the last graphic novel? If that, assuming that's an annual episode, because it says a special episode for season 9. That sounds like it's a one-off thing. It's not part of anything. It's just like an interlude for Iris and Nia Nal to work together. You might see Barry here now and then, but it's going to be Iris and Nia Nal. Which I guess will line up with season 8 because we had 8/17, wasn't it? That was an interlude, but it started the main graphic novel, or the last graphic novel, season 8. So I guess in season 9, if that is an interlude, then when you have, assuming it's 9-10, because I don't think she's not going to be in 909. Let's just assume it's 9-10, which I kind of hope it is, because 9-11 is like way too, like, advanced in the season to bring her in to make it a special episode. If it is 9-10, we have 9-11, 9-12, and 9-13. That's 3 episodes for a story arc. 9-10 could, like, start it, you know, pull a season 8, everything's negative, or all is negative, whatever that was called. You know, do that. Set up an interlude as the beginning of the next graphic novel, and you keep on going with the graphic novel after that. Great. Do it. As long as it makes sense. You know, I mean, the Allegra stuff we got in that episode for season 8, it wasn't the best stuff we've ever got on The Flash, but also wasn't the worst. I mean, we shouldn't be getting that kind of crap in season 9. We need to be heavily focused on this season and everything that's going to be coming along with it. And, I mean, whether you want to admit this or not, to those who, you know, straight up don't care what happens in this season, we do have way too many story arcs. We really, truly do. Unless they can handle it, great. But I have my doubts. And I think it's okay to, after the show's history, of when they drag things out, stuff gets cut. And stuff that shouldn't be cut. Like, there was the main scene between Barry and Tina, which I did a full video over, by the way, from 8/15. While that episode was amazing, they could have easily cut out some Cecile crap and put that scene in. You know, they didn't have to, you know, continue side characters. They could have really continued Tina's plot, which connects to the Earth Prime comics, which connects to season 9 of The Flash. So, to me, it's just like, we can have all these story arcs, we can have all these connections, but as long as it works out, then fine. But if it doesn't, why the hell are we wasting our time here? There's no reason wasting your time on a 30-episode season when there's 25 different story arcs and barely any of them connect to Barry. Or let alone to the main plot, whether that connects to Barry or not right away. Like, it all needs to connect in the end. Whereas it's not an Eric Wallace season. I mean, even season 7, whether you like that season or not, everything that happened in that season through the Forces storyline, the interludes, and the last graphic novel, everything connected at the end of the season. In season 8, through Armageddon, the Death Star mark, the interludes, everything fell back and connected into the season 8 finale, in the two-parter. It all connected. So let's say what's going to go down a different route and say, oh, nothing's going to connect, and not everything's going to connect this season. Then what's the point? I don't really see a point. I mean, it'd be cool to see Nia Nal. It'd be great to see Oliver and Wally. But if we are legitimately getting these guest stars just for one episode off and it has nothing to do with the main plot, why are we wasting their time? Like, I get that Nia Nal's a reporter. I'm glad she's going to be doing reporting with Iris. I think we've needed more of that in the show. And they did that in season 8, and then they kind of got away from it. But, I mean, the matter of the fact is, the show focused on Barry for the first time in, 7 years? So, I don't know. I know I want a full-on rant, but the matter of the fact is that this season needs to be heavily Barry-centric. And from that trailer that we got, that 30-second thing, it did look like it. But then again, we also got season 8 trailer, and it looked like it was going to be Barry-centric the entire season, and it really wasn't. Was it so Barry-centric? Yeah, but not that much. I mean, it was more than any other season, for sure. But in Deathstorm graphic novel, it was really Frost-centric, which wasn't bad. I mean, it made sense at least. But going into this season, we don't need, Barry not being the main focus. And I get that Iris and Barry can be joined at the hip this season, it looks like. But once it's not connected to the main plot, why are you wasting time on it? There shouldn't be any side plot crap this season. There really shouldn't be. With everything that we know that's going in this season, we don't need all this bull crap coming in and playing a role in the final season. And none of it connecting to Barry. Now, again, I'm speculating, because I have a bad feeling that's just where this season is going. I don't want it to go down that route. I would prefer if it all connected back to Barry in the main plot. But after the final season of Stargirl, where Court was nowhere near connected to the main plot for 11 episodes out of 13, I think I have a reason to be worried right now. Let's also not forget, Superman Lois' second season dragged out one story arc for 13 episodes, and that's one of the best TV shows out there. Well, it was. It's like, who knows now, but it's truly, like, DC TV has gone downhill over the last 2 years. Besides Flash Season 8, it was the only good DC TV show on at the point in time for a lot of people, including myself. So we're going into the show's final season, and the reason why Season 8 works was because it was Barry-centric, and now we're getting all these story arcs that's like, are they going to make any sense? Are we getting graphic novel in Season 9 besides Red Death? Is it, the next year's Avatar? Are we going to see him or her? I'm assuming it's Cobalt Blue. But are we going to see him? Are we going to see this new villain? Are we going to see Bloodwork? Are we going to see Oliver, Wally? Are we going to see any of them? Cisco? Tinya? I mean, Jesus. We have so many story arcs, and it's just getting out of hand, it seems like, right now. Again, I'm excited for Season 9, but at the same time, I have a right to be worried after everything that's happened this year. Like, yeah, I'm going to be worried. I get why people are excited, and I'm glad people are. Because it feels like this season will be going back to basics. But at the same time, we can't just ignore what happened in Season 8. Which is that Barry is more confident he's ever been in his entire life. So he shouldn't be relying on Team Flash having his back 24/7, let alone his wife. That's not how it should be working. At all for this show and the new thing they set up as his name. It shouldn't be. So that's just my take on it. But nonetheless, I don't want to take away the fact that I am excited that Nicole Maines is returning to The Flash. Making her first appearance in The Flash besides crossovers. But I am glad she's coming back because it does mean there's a Supergirl crossover type thing going on. It could lead to Kara appearing if she really wanted to come back. Melissa did, I mean. Or at least a Kara mention, you would assume, here. But, I mean, God, we have had Diggle on, 10 times since Arrow ended, and they barely even mentioned Oliver, more than twice. So, It's just a whole matter of what are they going to do in the episode. Because we don't know, and we're not going to know for probably months on end until the episode airs. Or a description releases or promo photos due for the episode. But, yeah, it's just a whole thing for me. And again, I'm excited for this season. I'm glad Nicole Mays is returning. But, Jesus, we have so much going on. I think it's okay to be a little bit worried right now. So, yeah, thank you guys for watching the video. Have a good day. Have a good night. Stay safe. See you in the next video. Bye, guys.